You already know that. I already know that. I've done plenty of videos about this. Other YouTubers did plenty of videos on the subject. It's something that is coming back again and again and again. Yesterday, we're going to talk about premiums and how it's possible for wargaming to reduce the number of them while still making a lot of money with them. So let's not lose too much time and jump directly into it. First of all, let's summarize what the problem is. For the people that lived in a cave for the past 2 years and never played World of Tanks Blitz, or simply for new players, you will find out sooner or later that there is a huge premium problem. For example, when you go up tier like tier 7, tier 8 and tier 9 and even tier 10, most of the time you're going to encounter quite a lot of premiums. For example, here in my game, we have the Action 10, me, we have the Annihilator, the T-34-3, so we nearly have half the team composed of premium. On the other side, it seems like we only have we have 3 premiums as well. Here, it's not necessarily representative of what I wanted to show you, but still, it's important enough as a number for you to understand that there are a lot of premiums running around. And basically, what makes all people play premiums all day long is that simply wargaming is making them better than their tech tree counterpart. Take a look at the current of Action 10, for example. When you take a look at the regular current Navan, compared to that thing, yeah, you didn't stand a chance and you will never stand a chance. That being said, there is also a problem with the rest of the game itself. Tank Company is pretty soon going to be released, and wargaming is trying to either milk players or make them buy premiums in order for you to keep playing World of Tanks Blitz. And with it comes cheaper price for the premiums and therefore easiest access to those. And all those factors are combining each other in order to make this matchmaking, aka 2, 3, 4 premiums, even sometimes 6 premiums per freaking match. It's annoying, yes, but there is nothing we can do at the moment in the current state of the game to counter that factor. But there is a solution, and this is the purpose of that video. Maybe wargaming is gonna hear me, maybe not. For the moment, the only way wargaming found in order to keep the number of players playing those new premiums restrained is putting them at high price in crates, and it's not necessarily something a lot of people are happy about. But what if, instead of doing that, wargaming made a tech tree premium? What I mean by the tech tree premium is that if you want, for example, to unlock the Super Conqueror, which is the tier 10 British heavy tank, you will have to first go through all the stages of all the tanks that are looking like this one. For example, here, the current Action 10 at tier 8 and maybe at tier 7, the FV201A45. And using this tactic of the tech tree premiums, we could actually reduce the number of people that are allowed to play it, simply because if you would like to unlock the Super Conqueror, first of all, you have to buy, obviously, the current Action 10 that we just talked about previously, but also the FV201A45 that is right there. And in order for this not to be too restrainable for the others, what you could do is getting that tech tree premium linked to a regular tech tree. For example, people would be able to unlock the FV201A45 from the tech tree right after unlocking the Churchill 6, which is the tier 6 of the heavies, the British heavies. This way, we will be able to still get those tanks, but you'll have to go through a grind, kind of, in order to unlock the tanks. And no, you're not going to unlock them for free. Maybe you'll have to get some experience with those premiums in order to unlock the possibility of buying the next tank. This way, if you want a Super Conqueror, you will be forced to buy the FV201, the current Action 10, and the Super Conqueror right after. It's gonna cost a lot more, yes, and this could be irritating for some players that just want to get the tier 10 straight away, but at least it will restrain the number of people allowing themselves to buy those. But of course, such a system has its own weaknesses. The first that we already mentioned is that you wouldn't be able to buy straight away the Super Conqueror, which would be irritating for rerolls, for example, that are a vast majority of the players, even if you're not aware of it. And yeah, when you're already experienced and you only want to play tier 10 all day long, having to play, first of all, to unlock the tier 6, the Churchill, and after having to grind the AV201, buying after the current Haven Action 10 to finally be able to get your Super Conqueror, it could be a little bit problematic. On top of that, the system wouldn't take into consideration the upcoming tanks. What I mean by that is that if all of a sudden Wargaming decides to implement such a system in the game and 2 or 3 updates after they are releasing a new tech, not a tech tree, but a new premium tank, a heavy British, is it going to be in the tech tree premium and therefore you will have to unlock it? Or are they going to keep the exact same thing they were using crates? In my opinion, this is kind of an utopia because it's impossible for Wargaming to put these kind of things without putting their bank account at risks, because even if most of the players are telling that they hate crates, it never had been that much money that Wargaming is packing than when they're releasing a new tank in crates. And this is a problem. We got used to the crates, we didn't say anything, and now we have to suffer the consequences of our inaction. But there are some alternatives that maybe will sooner or later come to the game, and hopefully this one would be it. Now, and another problem with this system is that it would make you spend quite a lot of money. Maybe if Wargaming implemented a system, a discount system, for example, if you want to unlock the Super Conqueror straight away, it would be a little bit more costly because you will have to spend the equivalent of maybe, let's say, 1/3 of the total grind plus the Super Conqueror price in order to unlock it and not having to play the other tanks of the branch. But if you do that, once again, it's gonna be pricey. But what is better, guys? When you think about it, if you are unlocking crates, you will have to pay around 200 euros for a tier 10. That's what we saw with the Object 907. So what if Wargaming actually implemented the system and it would cost you around, let's say, 200 euros. But for 200 euros, not only do you have the tank, you also have 2, 3, maybe 4 other premiums that are in the grind. Obviously, and I know what you're gonna say right now, guys, the problem of that system would be that you will acquire tanks that you don't necessarily want to play at all, and therefore useless premiums that would just take the dust in your garage. And I totally agree with you, but the problem is every single decision Wargaming makes has its pros and its cons, and maybe there is something to dig in this idea, or maybe not, and the only judge here would be Wargaming and the developing team. Maybe you guys think or agree with this, or maybe you totally disagree with what I'm saying right now, and if it's the case, I would be curious to know why. Tell me the limits, because obviously as it's only an idea, there are plenties of limits for this, and I can totally understand why you think that it would be either a good or a bad idea. So yeah, tell me in the comments and we will discuss about that. Now, focusing a little bit on the replay, as you saw, we did a pretty good game. We are at 6.7k damage, we only have to kill Progetto, and unfortunately for me it's impossible because I have a bad mobility. So what I'm doing, instead of trying to push the guy, is making him believe that I'm going away. Right now I'm gonna wait for the 10 seconds of remaining unspotted for him to try something by poking or anything, and this way, bam, I'm able to kill the guy, finishing the game with 3 kills, 7k damage, and obviously a well-deserved ace tanker. Victory, all enemy tanks are destroyed, my team is happy. We got a lot of credits as well, just take a look at that, 150,000, that's what I call getting some credits, guys. And this is how we end the video on a great game, and maybe a good or a bad idea, you're the only judge.